Florida football fans expect so much more than going to the Birmingham Bowl for postseason play, of course, with the storied past under Steve Spurrier and Urban Meyer. And there may be some more glorious times in the future with the hiring of Jim McElwain from Colorado State. We bring in Randy Drautz from CampusSports.net to talk about the hiring of Jim McElwain at Florida. Randy, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, Mark. Appreciate it. You had me on.
Definitely. So, Jim McElwain, what I know is Alabama offensive coordinator, goes to Colorado State, turns around a program that was good at some point in the past many times, but has hit rock hard times in recent times, and didn't take him but a couple of years to turn around that program. Why is he a good fit for the job with the Gators?
First of all, I would have to say his ability to recruit. I think he proved that in the 3 years he was at CSU. We're talking about a program that was 3-9 for 3 consecutive years before he was hired. His first year, granted, they were only 4-8, but once he got his recruits, that very next year, last year, they went 8-6, ended up winning the New Mexico Bowl, very miraculous fashion. Had a couple fumble recoveries at the end to set up the field goal that won him the game. And then this year, I mean, one went away, a very close Air Force CSU game in Colorado Springs. Could have gone either way. If they win that, they have a shot at one of the New Year's Six games. Instead they're 10-2 and currently going to be playing in the Las Vegas Bowl here on Saturday. But his ability to recruit, I mean, Rashard Higgins, one of the top, one of the finalists for the Biletnikoff Award. Amari Cooper obviously won that award, and rightfully so, with the number of catches he had. He had 115 catches. I believe it was 1,646 yards. And Rashard Higgins is right there. He had 1,640 yards, 17 touchdowns. His development of Garrett Grayson as well. McElwain's first year 3 years ago, Grayson didn't even look like he was a starter, and he actually got offered a letter from the Heisman Trust in November, just with his numbers he put up. He had a remarkable year. He actually set a CSU record, passing Bradley Van Pelt for total yards. And then when you look at the Florida program at SEC, in the SEC, I think with the SEC East being the easier division between the SEC West of those two divisions, I would definitely think that him coming in and being able to recruit in Florida, probably be able to recruit in Alabama after being the offensive coordinator there for 2 years, for actually several years, and winning a couple national titles with them under Nick Saban. I think that is going to propel that program very far, very quickly. I also think that his style of offense, running the offense he ran at Colorado State, very similar to what he did at Alabama. He just brought that over to Fort Collins for CSU, and it was really a NFL-style offense. Some two-back sets, some two tight end sets, I formation. They did also run some read option stuff, very rarely because we didn't really have a running quarterback there. But we actually had an Alabama transfer he brought over who was a grad student this year, D. Hart, who had a phenomenal year running the football. And I think that will translate, that the Florida offense will look a lot similar to what we've seen with Colorado State the last 3 years. It will look a lot similar to the two SEC championship and national title teams we saw when he was the OC there. And I just think that his ability to recruit, like I said, I'm reiterating that a lot, as well as his just ability to put in a great offensive game plan. I think that right now that's really what Florida needs, is they need some offense. And then from the defensive side of the football, I think they're already fairly stout, and I think they're just going to get better. So I see. I don't know how next year will pan out, but I would think within just a couple years we be looking at Florida being an SEC East champion and having a real shot at a national title very soon.
So, Randy, we've got a situation where McElwain has recruited well at a place where it's somewhat difficult to recruit because he doesn't have a talent base there in Colorado. Has to go elsewhere to bring in the talent. So he's achieved that. He's shown that he can do that, and now he's in the richest recruiting base, arguably, with Texas and California in the country. On top of that, he's been able to develop that talent. You point out Grayson's development in 3 years, and then also been able to show us a style of offense that works in the SEC. He's not going to sling it all over the place every down like some programs in the Big 12 and elsewhere. It's a pro-style offense that works well in a rugged and defensive-minded SEC. In addition to that, is he a guy that's going to stay with the offense and need to hire an extremely strong defensive coordinator to take care of that side of the ball, or does he have any type of defensive background that he's going to want a particular style of defense?
I think with his experience on offense, I think he's going to really be looking for somebody to come in and have a defense specifically set up. I guess I would say that whoever he brings in, they're going to be at the forefront of shoring up that defense. I think he's going to allow them the freedom to take charge of the defense, and he'll take charge of the entire team and basically run the offense. I'm sure he'll have an offensive coordinator, as all teams do, but I see, Jim McElwain's one of those guys, and he was a lot of times at Colorado State where he had the headset, he made the play calls. I think we're going to see that a lot at Florida. A lot of his plays coming in from the sidelines, and at the same time, I think he's going to give the reins to somebody, probably a very big name guy, as defensive coordinator. They could stick with who they have now. I just see them probably going in another direction, though.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, Randy, offensively, as they jump back to that side of the football, to see how much the improvement takes hold in year one, because we had an Urban Meyer offense that was prolific, produced 2 national championships. Then we see the Will Muschamp years where, despite bringing in a top talent like Jeff Driscoll, and who knows if this was Jeff Driscoll's issue in not becoming the quarterback to the talent level that we anticipated and fulfilling his ceiling, or that was the lack of development or the lack of playmakers. So I had this conversation with somebody the other day. Is it the chicken before the egg? Were the playmakers not given the opportunity based on the poor quarterback play, or does this Florida offense just seemingly not have any playmakers? Lamarcus Robinson had a good year with them last year, 47 catches, 7 touchdowns. But basically this offense has not, despite that talent base in recruiting, has not scared anyone since Urban Meyer left. It'll be interesting to see if McElwain turns that around pretty quickly.
Absolutely, and I think it's going to be an interesting thing, as you mentioned. I still really do believe that within a few years they're going to be competing for that SEC, one of the 4 places in the playoff for a national title. I think what their biggest need is, I think, is that quarterback. And as far as someone being able to recruit, and obviously in the state of Florida or Alabama, wherever he can find that guy, I think he finds them. And within a couple of years, we're talking, the Tebow years, Chris Leak, those national title teams. I think we see that again. I don't know if we see as dominant of team as we saw with Urban Meyer and those guys, but I think that in the weaker SEC East, they're going to be competing every year for sure.
We're joined by Randy Drautz of CampusSports.net. Randy, before we let you go, what are you working on these days?
Right now, I'm writing for CampusSports.net, as you had mentioned. Right now, I'm going to be doing a post-game recap for the Colorado State-Utah game coming up on Saturday, Las Vegas Bowl. I'm going to be doing previews for the Texas Bowl and Liberty Bowl. Arkansas, Texas in the Texas Bowl, and A&M West Virginia in the Liberty Bowl, and then I'll do post-game recaps for them as well. And I'm actually going to be branching out a little bit and writing a little bit in regards to some basketball articles. I know it's kind of outside the realm of things here with college football. Right now, I just got hired on as a cardiovascular tech at a hospital here in Colorado, where I live, and so I'm going to be continuing to write, and hopefully I can get on with you more often, polish up some things on my end, and go from there.
Randy, we appreciate the time. Florida fans will be hoping to never see the Birmingham Bowl again after this year. We appreciate the time, Randy, and the information and the insight into Florida football and the Jim McElwain hire.
Thanks, Mark. Appreciate it.